Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy, that's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove those painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon Pharmacy and Amazon One Medical, healthcare just got less painful.
See, now you reacted to a laptop moving more than you reacted to a spaceman coming in saying he's about to launch himself into the sky.
People
Humans,
are impressed
man.
by spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Flixwatcher podcast. This episode was our first ever live recording.
Amazing, yes. Recorded live at Latitude Festival, which was fantastic. But we had a few technical problems, as we'll explain shortly. Well, we'll get a man to explain shortly. We kind of missed the first 10 minutes of the chat where we introduce our guest, Aisling.
The lovely Aisling Bea.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aisling, for your time and coming on our show. Do follow her. She is at We Miss B. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter. And also, we missed the part where we introduce Sam Gilby and his amazing prizes, which he donated for us. He makes these amazing posters and badges, and he kindly donated some badges and posters to the guys who are listening to the show, who are live at Latitude. So thank you, Sam. Please follow him at Sam Gilby on Instagram, and you can find the links to all his stuff there as well.
So even though you've missed the introductions, you can still listen to the episode, and we're going to come into the part where we start talking about our favourite parts of the film, but there's also going to be contributions from the audience as well, so we hope that you enjoy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi, Andy from Latitude here. You're about to listen to a recording that we made at Latitude Festival at the new podcasting space, The Listening Post, and I'm just here to explain what happened to this one. So most of them went off without a hitch, which was, great for me. Apart from Flixwatcher, which inexplicably the desk sort of committed Harry-Carry just as we started recording. And we tried to get around it. I taped my phone to the speaker while we were recording, but to no avail, until about 10 minutes in when I worked out a workaround. So the first part of it is unfortunately missing, and for that I deeply apologise. But what is left is still a great deal of fun, so I hope you enjoy it. Sorry again, bye.
Thank you as always to the mighty people for the mighty, mighty tunes, and thanks to Ben from Rockwood Audio for his awesome editing skills.
Please do remember to write a review and rate us on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can do where you listen to the podcast, because it really does help us.
And you can join in the conversation with us on Twitter
at FlixWatcherPod, and on Instagram
at Flixwatcher.
There's a scene in it, again, this is an actory thing, but there's a scene in, and I'm pretty sure it's the first movie, where Christopher Lloyd, that is Christopher Lloyd, that's not the chef, is it? No.
Christopher Lloyd is...
Who's the chef? The famous, I'm going to put more wine in the casserole. Floyd, that's Christopher Floyd. Okay, good. I was like, is he in this? Okay, yeah, so Christopher Lloyd has this one scene in it where, and you can go back and rewatch it, where if a camera, rule number 1 of acting, don't look down the lens, because you're supposed to pretend it's not there. And so there's this one scene where Christopher Lloyd, say Marty is here, and the camera is here, and he goes, Marty, quick! And he just looks down the barrel and then moves his eyes to where Michael J. Fox is. And again, because he's so grounded in the character and convinced, you go with it and you follow along with it. And that is, to be able to get away with that as an actor is just such a testament to his charisma and talent, to be able to look down and go, oh, oops! sort of to break the flow, like a pre-Fleabag really in many ways. But any fans there know. But I love that scene. The two of them together as a double act is gorgeous when they're in their garage and working it out, and I kind of love them.
And I think that's why they felt they needed to change Eric Stoltz, because they needed that banter between
chemistry.
Him and Doc, and also him and George McFly. Was a spark for the film and drives everything forward. And if Eric Stoltz was being too serious, as he was, then it just doesn't. It would not have been the same film. It might have been a cool and interesting film, but I'm sure it wouldn't be one of my top 5 rewatched films ever.
Well, because the comedy is so important in it. The comedy helps you kind of jump a lot of the story stuff as well, and just makes it so enjoyable. Yeah.
And you, Kobi? Favourite scenes?
My favourite scenes. I just loved it when he was like riding a skateboard and he's getting chased out with the diner after punching Biff. So here's this guy who's like super short, punching Biff, like standing up to bullies. For me, was a huge thing as a kid.
Yeah.
And then running away from him with the skateboard, and then they end up in the manure, and that I love that bit. And it comes back in every film after that, and I think it's just such a fantastic, energetic scene, and you can see just Marty's personality in that so clearly.
For you as a young boy, was that a big thing when you saw, finally the bully got done in some way?
Totally.
He was like you in some way.
And then also there's him playing Johnny B. Good on the guitar before it goes like cringy.
Yes.
Before he can't, before all the 1950s guys don't understand what he's playing, but before that, he's playing Johnny B. Good very, very, very well.
Did Michael J. Fox know how to play the guitar, or is that
he had
CGI
to? Yeah, he actually learned how to play it. So that's another thing. Like he was learning that at the same time as working on All in My Family in Canada and doing all that stuff. So he's a brilliant guy.
Worked very hard on that film.
Should we shout out to the audience? Ask anyone out here what their favourite scenes were in the film. Mayor Goldie Wilson. Who's talking? It's behind the speaker.
You have the most beautiful low. I mean, I'm sure you get this all the time.
It
the most
travelled
beautiful
far,
low
didn't
voice.
it?
I felt that from my boot to my vat there, sir. I'll be honest. Feel free to ask the question again.
Should we connect you two guys afterwards?
Yes, please. What's the mayor bit? What's that?
So.
Yes.
It's a great bit because Marty obviously kind of inspires him. He says to you could be mayor. And he's like, I'm going to be mayor. And he ends up going to night school and becomes the mayor.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Isn't it lovely when you watch something, like even if you go back and reread the Harry Potter books and you're not taking it in broadly at first and you go back and you see all the little details and all the little clues. I think in our brains we all love solving things, going, that was that and that connected up that way into the future, And
I think when you watch films as a kid, you don't really pick up those details anyway. You just kind of think, ooh.
That's cool.
Slime on the bully.
Yeah, slime on the bully, hitting the bully, going back into the future. That's a time machine, that's a cool car, but you don't really pick up the nuances. And that's what really kind of pays the dividends with the rewatching.
Yeah. And how, I suppose, if you're to look at a movie philosophically, that point, how just that one person, a young lady, there you are, came up to me earlier on and she was talking about her history teacher, and her history teacher comes in every day and is like, fight the patriarchy, let's go, which I love as an idea. But when some people have like that core teacher or that core person that says something to them and you're like, that, and that's almost like an example of that in the movie, like someone who can change your life with just the right words or the wrong words at the right time.
Absolutely. Anyone else got a favourite scene? We've got a man in the check shirt.
The bit in the car park with the terrorists and chasing their fissile material.
Yes, right at the start. This is what kicks off the going back into the future, into the past.
What's that?
The Libyans, Doc has stolen some plutonium from them.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Right. It's a good thing. Like it's a nice
cats?
break from Russia. I'm still thinking about cats. I can't get over. I'm very triggered by. Did anyone see the cats? Are you all right? It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. Just everyone being cats. But yes, that there's that element of terrorism at the start of the show. I often think Russians get. I'm not just saying this because they're all probably being recorded by them, but I often think Russians get a really bad rap. They're always the terrorists, aren't they? Never the bride. They're all in every movie. It's always the Russians. So I suppose it's a nice break.
It's the Libyans.
At the start of this.
It's the Libyans here. Are you talking about the bit at the start or at the end where Doc actually comes back and?
Where he comes back at the end.
Where he comes back at the end and he pulls out the letter. Yeah.
Which he manages to save all of the pieces.
I think that's fine. I mean, he's just built a time machine.
But also good at admin.
But there was a storm.
Yeah.
And they didn't get wet.
I think they did do.
Maybe they came inside to a tent and listened to a podcast. Maybe they to keep it dry.
Try not to overthink this film.
But I remember when I first saw it as a kid, and I was like, "No, Doc's dead." And when his eyes blink, and the Alan Silvestri score goes, dun, dun, dun.
Those moments. But when you're script writing, those moments are really important. And when you're being brought on a ghost tour, genuinely for people who ever brought on ghost tours, at the end. Ghost tours? Yeah. You know, when you go on a ghost tour every Saturday, you know, on a ghost tour, guys. No, but when you go on something that's quite a scary, heightened experience, it's really important to sort of break the tension in some way. Because if people are left with the idea that, say, for example, Doc's dead or something like that, with no pressure release, almost like you'd take the pressure out of a radiator, anyone who does their own DIY at home, but that it's very important to be left feeling like everything's okay in some way as a thread for the end of a movie. Yeah. So even opening an eyes or those tiny little shots can sometimes be a big part in script writing, what you're left with afterwards.
Nice. Anyone else want to talk about? We've got a few people. Your man in the chair? Yes.
So that's when Doc doesn't believe that he's from the future, so he says, "Who's the president?" Yeah. Who was the president?
Ronald Reagan, who was in Doc's time was an actor. So that's why. So Doc didn't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely little thread as well, isn't it? A lovely bit of history. Say that now. You could do that with Donald Trump. Yeah.
Would you want to do that with Donald Trump?
Yeah, because he'd be like, he's a reality TV star.
Yeah,
what the presenter of The Apprentice is president. Good luck, mate. Back you go.
Oh, you're thinking about the remake for the competition later on, aren't you?
Oh, you can't creep that bit in now. That's cheating.
Nice.
Similar theme when the waiter in the cafe, he says, "Oh, you're the next mayor."
The waiter says in the coffee shop.
That's Goldie. That's Mayor Goldie Wilson. That's what. Your man
so you're the next mayor as well.
2 votes for that one.
Yeah.
So the lady in the turquoise. Oh my God.
What's that bit? What's that?
When Doc saved, he then takes a time machine and goes to the future. Where we're going. Yeah. So that's it. Do you want to say the immortal line?
Say the line.
Do it.
Where we're going, we won't need any roads. There won't be any roads.
Give a round of applause.
I love that. Why are we going to a field? What's happening? Why won't we need any roads?
That's just one of the best endings to any film ever, isn't it?
Oh, best line.
Oh my God.
But what's this? Think of the children. What's that one? Oh, it's your kids I'm worried about.
Setting up for the sequels.
Yes, because that sense, and again, a very clever marketing ploy, because he's sewing in plot into the future. Like, have you heard that thing? Fleabag creator and star Phoebe Waller-Bridge is helping write the new James Bond movie.
Nice.
And there's this big hoo-ha about this actress who's going to come in and potentially be the new Bond. And a woman, a black woman, and this is out in the back. This is not me saying anything out of turn, but we don't know yet. But apparently at the end of this movie, the new movie, a door opens and this woman comes in, and whoever the person is, Seven? No, not Seven. M. Yeah, M. Exactly. And that's me hesitating. But M says, 007, you're back, or something like that, in a sort of Doctor Who fashion, like the Doctor's back. But in those moments, they carry on a whole. They're very clever marketing.
It's like you've spoken to Phoebe herself.
Yes, I have. But I can't say it yet.
Are you in the new Bond?
No, I'm not, despite my... I mean, I'll be sort of maybe in the background waving, going, hiya, but no.
At that point, so when the film finished, everyone thinks kind of like it was all set up for the next 2 films, but Robert Zemeckis, the director, at that point didn't want to do Back to the Future 2 and 3, so he just wanted to leave as a massive cliffhanger. But then the studio kind of went, well, we're going to do one, so if it's not you, then...
Did he do the subsequent ones?
He did do, yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which would have been horrific if it wasn't him.
Even though the third one, I don't know.
Not as
Despite
good.
wearing my cowboy boots. I don't know.
A lot of people don't like the second one.
I love
Controversial.
Should we find out which of the... Has everyone seen all 3 Back to the Futures?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Let's do some whooping. Which is your favourite Back to the Future? Is it Back to the Future 1? Yes! Back to the Future 2? Woo! Oh. It's just you and Rhodes. We don't need Rhodes at the front here. Back to the Future 3?
Clear winner.
Do you know what it is about 2? I think we all have a natural... I go to psychics sometimes. We all have this like want to know what's going to happen down the line.
Yeah.
And if someone in some way tells us or shows us, even if it's dark, I think we all have a natural like, what's going to happen? You know that movie Children of Men?
Yes.
You know the really scary one? It's
Alfonso Cuarón, Clive Owen.
Yes, Clive Owen. And there's this bit where people stop having babies, very much like The Handmaid's Tale. And like, what would happen if? I think we all have those kind of like, if A led to B led to C, we're like, ugh. It's a natural human curiosity. So that's why I love the second one, because it's like these huge buildings and things flying about. I'm like, wow, will I get to live that far to see that?
So what do you guys, from the future, from Back to the Future 2, what kind of things did you want to have or to exist by now? Because the future, as presented in the film, is now past. So we should have had hoverboards, which I'm so disappointed.
There are hoverboards, aren't there?
No, but they're the wheel ones that you see kids in airports on.
But aren't there ones that hover in the air? Do they not? They have wheels. God, maybe I'm just like too busy looking up at the sky.
There was actually a hoverboard that Tony Hawk rode, but it was like massive. They had a little ramp.
Yeah, there was.
So there was a Tony Hawk, as in the skateboarder Tony Hawk.
It was like for the anniversary, I think it was.
But they invented one, but it was so big you couldn't manipulate things. Ah.
I remember seeing that because it had to be like on a copper floor.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked if you like lived in a city full of copper.
I feel like the ones they have now is like a really powerful Hoover.
Yeah.
Like it's just getting air kind of going like that. Yeah. Interesting. So what would you like from the future that isn't there?
Oh, it's hoverboards.
Hoverboards?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why though?
Because doesn't it seem like so much fun or so much danger at the same
I think
time?
they'd still just take an Uber or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't invent Ubers, did they?
No, they didn't. I remember hearing about who invented the iPhones, etc.
Steve Jobs and Apple.
Steve Jobs and Apple, exactly. I'm great with names today. I remember him saying he'd invented this one thing which was like a notepad, and he thought this was going to be the iPhone. Like he thought this was going to be the thing that took off. But people didn't really like walking around with a sort of pen, an e-pen, and a notepad. And he could have never predicted what part of an invention might actually capture human imagination and that we'd all want straight away. And one of the big things, like with Facebook, is connection through our phones.
Yeah.
Like some kind of connection to each other, and that's what they sort of like invented. You don't know what thing will take off and what won't, because you're like, what do humans need? What will they become addicted to? That's what the scientists are trying to work out.
So even though people didn't like 2 and 3, I think it's still definitely one of my favourite trilogies overall. The Back to the Future trilogy is up there with like Toy Story, which was a trilogy until a couple of weeks ago. It still is a trilogy. You don't like Toy Story 4? They didn't need to make it. I think that's my...
What is poster trilogy called? A fourthly?
A tetralogy.
What is it? Quadrology. Oh yeah, very good. I'll believe you. I don't know if you're lying or not. I enjoy your confidence.
You like 2 but not as much as 1. But you got to have your favourite. Yeah.
I was just going to say, one of the things that makes it what it is that it's just so popular from when it came out to now. I mean, a testament that all of you here, because you love Back to the Future. One of the things that we talked about before was its ability to sort of meld comedy and action, which is quite a hard thing to do. And no one's really done it as well as this since.
You know, it's really hard to match comedy with stakes that people care about. So it's why you don't see huge amounts of comedy that are plot driven. I was in a show about 8 years ago with Sharon Horgan, who's my new show, and it was called Dead Boss. And it was all about like a whodunit. And it's really hard if you're trying to make jokes for people to actually care about who done it, or if there's someone creeping around a corner that you don't think it's going to be a gag or something funny. And genuinely, to match action with comedy, is really hard because in comedy everything has to service the joke or people laughing, whereas in an action movie, and we all know the ones, even if people are bad at acting, we want to know like who are the villains, how is this explosion going to take, whatever happens in action movies. But it is a huge thing to mush the two of them together successfully.
I think so. What we do for the second part of our podcast is to rate the film.
Oh my God! Can everyone else see him?
It's like off the comic book.
Oh my goodness!
He's from the future.
You from the future?
Is this your quirky Latitude outfit?
Firefly 2.
Is your second space vehicle? Well, no need to be arrogant. Oh, you're about to launch what?
Into space.
You're about to launch yourself into space. Could you come back and tell us later if you manage to do it when the podcast's over? Oh no! Listen, I'm all about your weird slow confidence. Where is he off
Where's
to?
he going?
He's behind us there, this shed.
He's kind of like an odd gardener, isn't he? I enjoy that. No one else found that as weird as me. I don't know. Like you were just like, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to. Sorry, that really entertained me. Yeah, maybe I judged him too much on his spacesuit.
Which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is talk. We want to rate the film out of our unique scoring. We have a unique scoring system which is based off of what's in films on Netflix. So we get guests on to talk about films on Netflix, and we rate them based on that. So what we'll do is talk you through the scores.
Yes.
Ask you to score out of 5, then ask you guys to rate them out of 5 as well, and then we'll get an overall score and put it on our scoreboard later on, which you can then see on our website.
What's currently at the top?
At the top is When Harry Met Sally.
I love that movie. You won't get that reference. I hope not.
So
Harry
first
Met
up,
Sally.
we have, with our scoring, we have recommendability. So this is how much on a scale of 1 to 5 you are likely to recommend this to pretty much anyone.
I mean, it's a safe 5 from me, this one.
Yes.
And I assume that's going to be the same with everyone else as well.
Oh no, this isn't working. Hold on. I need to come out of here.
I'll remember the numbers. I've already got 5 in my head, guys. Do a lot of countdown.
Gonna slide this thing over.
Ooh!
Was that fancy?
See, now you reacted to a laptop moving more than you reacted to a spaceman coming in saying he's about to launch himself into the sky.
People are impressed by spreadsheets.
Yeah.
So, you gave it 5. So go.
5, please.
You guys are Latitude. You are collective Latitude.
Wait. We've
we're
worked this out. We've got a system.
We're going to start from 1, and when it comes to the number you want to rate it as, you shout then. So the loudest shout gets the score. By the way, you can go to as many decimal places as you want to. This is a spreadsheet here.
Oh, spreadsheet.
So anyone gives it a recommendability score of 1,
2,
3,
4.
Interesting.
5.
It's
clearly a 5-star film.
5.
4.679 says your man up there in the grey t-shirt. Anyone else? 5. Helen, what are your scores?
So there is not anyone that you cannot recommend this film to, so I'm going to go for a 5.
Yes.
Eric Stoltz, maybe. He'd be like,
Yeah, he's probably not so fond of it.
It's like, don't watch that film. It used to have me in it. I'm going to go for 5. I don't normally give high scores for recommendability, but this is actually my benchmark film that I rate against recommendability for, so it has to be a 5 for me. Repeat viewing score. Do you want an explanation of that, guys?
Please.
Benchmark be a 5? That's the maximum.
Maximum's 5, but
No, the
that's my
movie is a
benchmark.
benchmark, not the number is a
Yes.
benchmark.
So if you've listened to the podcast before...
That's unbeatable. Surely a benchmark is something you can beat over in words time.
Interesting question about the terminology of benchmark. Can a benchmark be the highest point? But yes,
It's
because this film is the movie by which he uses to measure all other movies.
Yes.
And this is a 5. So if he doesn't like something as much as Back to the Future, then it becomes below 5 because that's his benchmark. That's the cleverest I've ever been. And I need a nap. I think I might need a nap.
If Kobi had not put a 5, this would have gone against everything he's ever said on the podcast before. So it had to be a 5.
It had to be a 5. Repeat viewing score. How repeatable is watching this film?
I think
Out of 5.
for me, like everyone says, there's all these threads you see every time you rewatch it, which I love. I'd say though, once you've gotten the jokes and stuff, and especially with, I would say 4.
Sure.
On repeat watching. Like I wouldn't watch it. It's not like the way some people love Friends on a Sunday or something like that. Like you can zone out during it. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd.
Wouldn't be that high for you.
Yeah, repeat
is
watching
Friends
every
your
like
benchmark
4
then?
years. Friends is not my benchmark. My friends are my benchmark. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, Latitude guys. We'll start from 1 again. Repeat viewing score for Back to the Future. We'll start with 1,
2,
3,
Interesting.
4.
5.
Oh, I'd say that's a 4.
You say that's a 4?
Yeah.
Give it a 4. Helen.
So I've seen it so many times, I don't actually know how many
you poor
times I've
thing.
seen it. And one of the things about this film is it's got so many deeper stories about it, and it does reward with repeat viewing. And because I've seen it so many times, I can only give it a 5.
Yes.
Oh yeah. How many times do you think you saw it in the end? For anyone who just came in, she did Secret Cinema Back to the Future.
Maybe?
25.
Yeah. Probably,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that it? I would have thought near.
Or maybe 30 then if you
Yeah,
add
a
the
bit
other
more.
one. So yeah, maybe about 30 times.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to go for 5 as well. So we've got a few minutes left, so we're going to go through the scoring quite quickly because we want to get onto the competition side of things, guys, and give you some of the prizes. So yeah, repeat viewing score, it's got to be 5 for me. I've watched it so many times and knew it inside out, really. And it just does get better with age for me. So small screen score.
So this one is how well we think it relates to being watched on your TV screen as a Netflix arena as opposed to maybe seeing it in the cinema.
So you said you saw it on a big screen recently.
I did.
Was
and
that so much better for you seeing it on the big
Well,
screen?
also it was
compared to
made
the-
on film. Yes, I do say it like that. And I think it does translate for that reason. It was like supposed to be a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd necessarily want to see it in a small way. It's called a small screen. Television's called a small screen for a reason. I think this is more. It's an amazing thing to put on a big screen or a projector or something like that.
Sure.
So I'd maybe say 3. Oh, what a controversial figure I've become in the tent.
No, it's fair. It's
Also,
fair.
is a tent on fire?
The house got very smoky. That's a
It's that
spaceman.
space.
Oh, that's space. No one cares. Everyone's too busy looking at the great spreadsheet, which is a great spreadsheet.
Okay, Latitude, your guys' turn. Out of 5, repeat viewing score 1. Sorry, not repeat, small screen score 1,
2,
3,
4.
5.
Oh, that's a vocal 5.
That's a 5. I think it's going for 5. Helen.
So small screen for me, I don't think it's ever been screened on a bigger screen than the screen that I saw it on at Secret Cinema. And seeing it on that massive screen with thousands of people all there loving Back to the Future was an incredible experience. And I think it's one of those films that does deserve to be watched on the big screen. However, if you haven't, those 2 people who've not seen it, it is on Netflix at the moment.
Sure.
So you should definitely see it. So I'm going to go for a 3 for that one.
Vibes.
I'm going to go for 2.5 here
Oh, you really dropped
I have,
from
yeah.
your benchmark number there.
because I did super enjoy watching it on the big screen, and I think it just kind of does pale in comparison a bit.
It's
Each time
worth
you see it.
waiting for or seeking out
definitely.
to watch in the
So when it's
cinema.
re-released in a few years' time, do go out and see it in a cinema. And places like Prince Charles in London do reissues. They'll do like a Back to the Future trilogy. Try and make it down there because it will be worth your while. And like you said, it's shot on film, which does mean it does stand up still. 2.5. Okay, engagement score. Helen, do you want to...
So this is how engaged you are when you're watching it. So if you're sitting there maybe checking your phone or you're thinking about what's for dinner and you're not fully engaged, then it'll be a low score.
Like those 2 people. 0 for us.
Yeah.
Saws.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
saws. Didn't talk about skateboarding enough, did we not?
they're off to see the spaceman. It's taken our audience. So, and then obviously if you're super engaged, it'd be higher.
I'd say 4 for me. I think it's a really, you end up, I think the two performers, Christopher Lloyd and I was going to say Marty McFly and Michael J. Fox they draw you in so much. They're incredible performances. So I would say 4.
So engagement score for you guys at Latitude. We'll start with a 1,
2,
3,
4.
5. That's a 5, isn't it?
That's a solid 5.
Yeah. Helen.
So at this point in the podcast, I normally go on about how long the film is. I don't actually know how long it is. It 1 hour?
Just under 2 hours.
So yeah,
Is it? Wow, that's
2
long.
hour film. It doesn't feel like a 2 hour film because it's so action packed and funny and wonderful. And I think you kind of have to pay attention to this, or you have no idea what's going on. And also it has really nice little things that reward repeat viewing, and you can spot out for those, oh, that's a Spielberg thing and that's from another film, etc. So it really does reward you for being engaged. So I'm going to give it a 5.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm also going to go for a 5, of course. Just because I repeat viewing score, and you see each time you watch it, you see more and more stuff into it. So that gives us, oh, no, not 4. That gives us an overall score of 4.065.
It's pretty good.
And that's pretty high. Our highest score, I think, it's When Harry Met Sally is 4.8 something. So that does show it pales in comparison. But thank you guys so much for taking part as Collective Latitude, our 4th member of the.
Are we not doing the competition?
We are. I'm just saying
sorry.
thank you.
I love raffles and competitions so much. I hate to be cheated out of it.
Just trying to work out how to get to the next screen now. On this, now it's gone to the big mode.
Well, when you do, then there's going to be a big ooh and ah from this audience. They're enthralled by screens. Whoa, way!
So what we normally do is reach out to the guys on Twitter and ask them for their opinions. In this case, this guy, Best Pick Podcast, was saying, pure cinema perfection, Al Silvestri's music is the gleaming icing on top of this expertly constructed and mouth-watering cake. 5 stars hardly seems adequate. IMDb Podcast. I mean, what else is there to say except it's one of the greatest films of all time. 5 stars.
So a lot of love from Twitter there.
So we want you guys, we want a few volunteers to give their short 1-sentence Twitter review and their score out of 5. And Aisling Bea,
Yes.
You'll award the prizes to the best ones.
Yes.
To the best reviews.
Yes, like a sort of odd game show host assistant.
Do we have any volunteers?
Here we're going. What do they have to do again?
So they have to give a short review.
Like you've just seen with the Twitter reviews, so keep them short.
And we've got these badges and the posters.
I'm going to nominate this lady. Yeah. Up you get now. You have to give a very quick review of the movie.
Oh no! Instead, can I say who I want to play Marty and Doc?
Yes.
Do you want to do that one instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. I want Tom Holland to play Marty, and have you seen the new? Has everyone seen the new Spider-Man? Oh my God, it's so good. And I want Christopher Lloyd to play Doc.
Again.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, because he can still do it.
Back.
He got really freaked out by fame and never really did anything again. And only recently, when they were coming out with the shoes, all those years later, the shoes that Marty had in the future.
That's right.
He came out and did a promotional thing for, I think it was Nike.
Yeah.
But up until that point, he hadn't really come out in the public eye because he couldn't handle the big change in his life and all the attention suddenly. Which must be odd because now, I know I'm on telly a lot, and you can be seen for something and lots of people can know you and then no one else can know you. So it's a rarity anymore for everybody to sort of to know you in the world. And the level of fame he has and people had at that time won't ever be matched again.
No.
So he was just so phenomenally fit. Yeah, which is nuts.
Do you have any volunteers for any of the questions, actually? Either recasting or for the one lady in there?
Jeff Goldblum to play the Doc.
Nice. Who would play Marty? Will Poulter.
Very good.
That's a good call.
Yeah. That is a good call. Is he now at this stage a bit old, though?
He would have been mid-20s playing. But Tom Holland, he's 20ish now, playing a 16-year-old.
I want this guy to play him. You play. Oh my God! And he's got look, show his boots. He's got little kind of almost like lights in the boots already. I mean, he's casting for the boots. Yeah. And you play Doc. Okay, well, we're going to have to get back to your agent about that, to be honest, but he's cute. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This film's so good, I felt it by parental responsibility to pass it on to the kids.
Oh, that's a
So
good one.
this film is so good, he felt his parental responsibility to pass it on to his kids.
And
That is a great review.
Round of applause, guys. And how many stars is that then?
5 stars.
Anyone else? We've got the lady in the turquoise. Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright to play the Doc.
Fantastic.
Oh, for Marty McFly. Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Love Letitia Wright.
Do you think she might
Martina
be too
McFly.
not I use this word nerdy enough? Like, would I think? Do you know what I mean? That would be my only thing. At first, I was like, the Doc. Yes, I can imagine her sort of coming up with crazy ideas. But yeah. And who for the Doc then?
Richard Ayoade, yes.
Yeah. Richard would have such disdain for doing it. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I want to stay in the present as it is. Bob
Zemeckis does listen to this podcast. I'm sure he's taking it on board for the
He
remake.
knows. He definitely would say that.
You going man in the stripy shirt?
Taron Egerton would be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you mean about the doc being, it's such an iconic part that I do think you almost have to be a bit of an icon in your own weird way. And that's why I love the Jeff Goldblum idea as a casting, because he's so...
Johnny Depp?
I probably wouldn't go watch it though.
No.
He doesn't need any more work now. He needs more work on himself.
Johnny,
I would say.
stop making films. You got your friend from before there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. What do you think? To marry sci-fi, action and comedy, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, this is your review of it. Yes. So she was saying to marry all of those different genres at once, like we were saying earlier, is such an amazing thing to do, and no movie has done that, to marry sci-fi, comedy, action, all these different things, and a rom-com, a bit of a rom-com in a way,
yeah.
And a bromance, to marry all those things. No film has done it since, and so that's like an amazing testament to it. Yes.
Would that be 5 stars? 5 stars. So we've got 2 more from your man there with the dark top and in the t-shirt behind.
Tilda Swinton
Swinton.
for the Doc,
Yeah,
yes.
like that
Brilliant.
one.
She'd totally reinvent it, wouldn't she?
I love these guys thinking outside of just 2 kind of straight line. Absolutely,
yeah. It's great.
Fantastic. Just the Doc? That's all you got? Yeah.
Lovely.
So
Paired with
Letitia
Letitia
Wright,
Wright.
Letitia Wright and Tilda Swinton.
Oh, yeah.
I'd watch that.
Do you know
I'd
what's
allow that.
interesting? It's
Yeah.
about, like, say that actress on her own. I was like, I like, is she very cool? And then to match the two of them together, what's so unique about this, to get chemistry, like with Harry Met Sally, to get those 2 actors together, it's such a spark. It's like kind of falling in love when you just bounce off someone, especially comedically. And so it is like putting 2 people together rather than one person on their own and casting around them. It's the
Oscar's
pair.
off.
Oh, he's off. He's got another audition down the road, actually, for a remake.
Back to the Future in the bag and just going to get another film in. And you want it in the white t-shirt.
Yeah, Donald Glover, but like 10 years ago for Marty.
Donald Glover, 10
Donald
years
Glover,
ago.
but 10 years ago.
So when is the
you'd need
Community?
someone to go back to get him and to bring him back. But how?
Flux capacitor, 1.21 gigawatts.
Such great maths.
Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Do you know what? Yes. Here's an interesting fact about Nicolas Cage, if you're a film buff. So when you're a lead in a movie, if it flops, you then, for your next project, become an insurance risk, just like filming in a very fiery area or filming in Antarctica. So the movies he's done afterwards have been because 1 or 2 movies flopped, and then he wasn't really an insurable talent to add to movies after that. And I think he's gone so full circle now to be so niche and so kind of beloved in many ways for like a lot of the older movies he's done. That is another great... someone, again, like Jeff Goldblum, like someone odd in their own way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So who wins the 5 prizes? We've got 3 pin badges.
Oh, it's me!
It's all down to you.
Do you know what? Just because I wasn't convinced at first, but then when we put the two of them together, so you're going to have to share the prize.
So Letitia Wright and
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
I love that as an idea because, again, there are ones who are like, oh, yeah, that seems to have the energy of the one before. Or Jeff Goldblum, that seems to have the energy of the one before. But what is a great thing is, what about a surprise? And I don't mean like a Cats trailer surprise. We don't want that. But what about something that surprises us and we don't know what we're going to get? So it's not just the same thing over and over again. Why are we repeat watching when we could get a unique, cool dynamic that would happen again? So yeah, that for me is
so that's a pairing
between the two.
You guys can share some badges.
Yeah. Oh, badges! You seem like a crowd who likes badges.
Who else? We got 4 more prizes.
We got 4 more prizes.
Yeah.
Ah, lads. Sure, I thought there was only one. Sure, I think there was only 4 people replied. My lovely friend here, I really liked your synopsis. I thought it was well thought out and short, but very wordy, which was enjoyable. So you get a prize there as well.
Sure, we'll come back and you can choose a prize afterwards.
Oh.
I think your man who was so in love with it.
I think your young daughter wins a prize for being here and enjoying it. I kind of like your backpack and your puff as well. I feel it's very Marty McFly. Do you want to stand up and show everyone there? You're looking at it. Isn't this kind of like a mini McFly? I'm loving it. So I love that. So you're getting a prize just for the outfit. So how many were there? Oh, and then of course we need our lady who stepped up confidently to the microphone first when no one else would. Where we're going, we don't need roads. So she's getting one as well.
And one more.
Oh, one more. God, is that not 4?
Well, we'll just keep. You can have one. You can have one.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 5. There you go.
Is that not?
I can't count. I've got a spreadsheet. That's why I need a spreadsheet because I can't count. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aisling, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I love the passion for a movie. You know, it's very fun.
I'm going to look out for This Way Up, which comes out in a few weeks' time on Channel 4.
Please watch my show. It's out on Channel 4 in a few weeks at 10 p.m. It's called This Way Up. It's got so many great people in it, and I hope you really watch it.
10 p.m. So does that mean there'll be swearing?
There will be fucking swearing. Sorry. Had to learn sometime. And it'll all drop at once and then come out episodically every week. But you can binge the whole thing that night if you're not bored of me by now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoyed this episode of Flixwatcher podcast? Why not leave us a 5-star review on iTunes? You can also follow us at FlixWatcherPod on Twitter, and we're at FlixWatcher on Instagram. Thanks as always to the mighty people for their mighty, mighty tunes, and Ben from Rockwood Audio for his awesome editing skills. If you're looking to get your podcast edited as sweet as this, get in touch with Ben, and that's Rockwood, ROKK Wood Audio. Tell them Flixwatcher sent you.